happening at the foundation. And then, if Ian has some other um, details about some other projects that are happening or things you just need to know as a community, we definitely want the whole community to come out and support this production. But again, I don't want to get too deep in the conversation until the show actually starts. All right, so but what are some teasers you can give us, though, Mr. Ian, while we're waiting for the show to start?
Teaser. The best teaser that I've been giving everyone is if you want about an hour and 45 minutes of people singing their faces off and just going full force on the stage to make you forget all of the chaos that's going on in the world right now. If you just want some time to feel good, you definitely do not want to miss Dreamgirls showing live on the Forum stage November 13th, 14th, and 15th.
Okay. All right, so we have about a minute or so. And so definitely we'll get into the conversation with Mr. Milan and Tara, what their thoughts are. One, how did you even come to what made you decide to audition? So we'll save all those good tidbits for the show, but just be thinking about, those questions. What made you decide to want to audition, and then what was it like when you got the call back and the process? And I've been seeing some little clips. I guess Ian has been taking some video of Miss Tara singing, practicing. Honey, yes. I mean, those of us who live in Jonesboro already knew your singing ability capabilities and how wonderful you are, but ma'am, yes, yeah. All right, so for those of you watching on Facebook, we have the news and weather and the legal ID, and then we'll get started with the show here in just a moment. So don't mind me. This weather change is um, not being very nice to my sinuses right now,
Definitely, I understand.
as I'm sure everyone is dealing with something of their own.
They got to do anything.
And then for you, the performers, with this weather, climate change, are you having to take extra measures to protect your voice?
And they're all on vocal rest until tomorrow.
Okay. All right, y'all. Okay. About 30 more seconds or so before we go live on air. So, for those of you watching on Facebook, I apologize for the pauses. I'm just trying to make sure I hit my time because it's live radio and yeah, people don't like dead air. So,
Yeah.
all right. The legal ID. All right. So, are y'all ready to dive into this conversation?
Yes.
No, we don't.
We not. But we need to switch that. Let's
No,
talk in a
we're
minute.
probably.
This is yes. Everything you think is whatever you
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Kalila Jones, and my very special guests are joining me via Zoom. I have, starting from my right, Mr. Ian Buchanan, Mr. Marlon Carter, and Mrs. Tara Newman Carter. How are y'all doing?
Great. How are you?
All right, so we will be talking about the upcoming production Dreamgirls. This is Ian's first directorial debut.
It
All
is.
right, so let's start there, Mr. Ian.
Um. So Christy Pulliam, who is our amazing executive and artistic director at the Foundation of Arts. I just want to stop and give a shout out to her. She has navigated this year of 2020 with such elegance and such grace. She's had to make some hard decisions, and it is because of her leadership that we are in the position to put on a production like Dreamgirls. So great shout out to Christy Pulliam and all of the rest of my coworkers down at the Foundational Arts. Christy called me maybe June of this year and asked me if I would be interested in directing. And at that time, the show that I was going to direct was The Wiz. And so I went through this whole process of being excited about The Wiz and telling people and everything. And then we got a phone call or email saying that we could not get the rights to The Wiz. So we sat down and brainstormed and was like, oh my goodness, what else can we do? What else can we do? 3 years ago, when I joined forces with the Foundational Arts, I joined as a diversity enhancer. We wanted to include all aspects of our community. And definitely the African American part of the community is a very large aspect of our community. And so we wanted to bring stuff that not only would the African American community want to see, but that they can also be a part of at the Foundational Arts. And so we've done great productions like Raising the Sun and and this is the first major African American musical that will ever be seen on the foreign stage. And I'm so very blessed and fortunate to be, if not the first, one of the first African American male directors at the Foundational Arts.
Make history, sir.
So that's how the process started. Once we came up with Dreamgirls, we set things in motion. We secured the rights before we said anything to anybody. And about 3 or 4 months later, here we are on show week. So I'm very, very excited. These people have done a great job. They've worked very, very hard.
That's awesome. And so once you got everything in line that you needed, now it's time to cast, put out a casting call. And so tell us about that process, about how many people, audition for the various parts.
Well, me and my assistant director, Katie Hoover, and my musical director, Christopher Hinton Sr., we had auditions early August. We probably saw in the course of auditions about 50 people over the course of 2 days. And we tried to plug everyone who came out into a place. We didn't want to leave anyone who braved the audition process out. I feel like that there's a place for everybody in the arts. And so whether it was an ensemble or a dancer, I do want to make mention, this is traditionally an all African American cast. We actually have made it a multicultural cast because that's what our goal is at the Foundational Arts, to make everything representative of community. So we have dancers, we have singers, we have other people who come on stage that are not just African American. Now, however, because this is an African American production, we did want to hold true to that in our casting. So the majority of the cast is African.
All right. I want to say good morning to a few people that are checking in on our Facebook Live feed. Miss Shanika Brandon, who says, hey. She says, me and Carly have our tickets and we're excited. Tanya Riley says, congratulations, guys. Many blessings on your project. She says, echo's hard to hear. Oh, but echo with you guys. Okay, so there's a slight echo. I don't know if there's any way to bring your speaker closer.
Yeah, we can.
We apologize, Miss Tanya. Technology, we gotta love it, hate it sometimes. I hope that helps. Just wanted to make sure that they got everybody in the shot. Okay. And good morning to Jeremy Jones, who says balcony seats. All right, so let's continue on. So you put out, and good morning to Miss Vivian Taylor. So you put out a casting call. All these people showed up. You want to make sure everyone possible had a place. So let's talk about your leading roles and what that decision making process was like.
Oh, choosing the roles, my goodness. Listen, we had a good idea, after the auditions were over on who we wanted to kind of place where, but everyone who came to the audition did such an amazing job. We literally did callbacks, and even after callbacks, we were there probably another 5 or 6 hours just sitting around and bouncing around scenarios and see who should go where and what if we do this with this person and then put this person here. It was not an easy process. It was not an easy process. Some people were clear for their roles.
Okay.
And other people, we literally went between 3 or 4 people before we actually settled on the role.
Okay.
We do have a couple of people who were double cast just because we tried and just could not come up with a clear solution as to who to go with. So we placed a couple of people in one role. But other than that, it was a really grueling process. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to bring two of the cast members into the conversation, Mr. Marlon Carter and his wife, Mrs. Tara. So, Marlon, tell us what role you are playing. What was the audition like? Um, and, just what you're feeling now.
I played the role of Cece, which is Effie's brother, in the play. Um, this has actually definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone.
Okay.
Um, I talk a lot, okay, and I can sing. Matter of fact, not only do I talk a lot, I talk for a living. I can sing. I just don't like to. And Ian and I are friends, and he kind of pushed me. Him and Chris Henson rather, completely pushed me out of my comfort zone. Um, I'm one of those people who I got you. I'm a good background singer. I hold that tender down. Just don't give me a mic and I'm going to be in front. And so this has kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone. Has me singing. Acting is a really big issue for me. I've done theater practically throughout my life, ever since middle school. I've done several shows, so that wasn't uncomfortable for me. But the singing, yeah.
But he is
Oh,
doing an excellent job with it, better than he gives himself credit. So,
okay. I just want to give an update again for those that may have missed the very beginning. Good morning to Miss Maria Murph. She says, yes, Ian and Mala, I'm so proud of you. Miss Linda Johnson Frazier checked in, says, good morning. And so does Miss Vicky Lewis. Miss Vivian, they are discussing the play Dreamgirls, based on the popular movie. And so these are two of the lead actors, um, cast members in the play Dreamgirls. So we will definitely give you that time and date again a little later in the conversation. And so, Mr. Mylan, you said this is pushing you out of your comfort zone as you are reflecting each day, after practice. Tell us what you feel though internally, like aside from the play. How has this experience impacted your personal life?
To be honest, most people don't believe this about me. Um, I'm very approachable. However, I am a little nervous and a little shy, just a little bit. And so I can kind of relate to. It's hard a little bit. I can kind of relate to Cece a little bit because he starts off with his journey. Practically starts off with he's a writer for the Dream Girls, of course. He writes the music. He starts off pretty much transitioning from this um, creativity, and then he goes into see how his creativity is actually one day paying off, and he gets to see himself, see all that he's been doing in private, actually take place openly, and people are celebrating these dream girls that he has pretty much been investing in behind the scenes with his talents and his writing. So I can kind of relate because that's kind of who I am, you know. And then you'll see transition as he come from this little kind of shy, timid, nervous person all the way to this big, I got this. I'm in there, you know. Yeah, so that personality sees now that I think about it, never been asked that question, it really says Mylan to me because it pulls it's showing those levels of I know how, but I'm not really sure if I can. Okay, well, we're here now, might as well. And now that we're here, let's make it happen. Oh my God, it's really happening, so that, yeah, that's cool.
Wow. Ian, we've had this conversation many times before, but in reference to the children, once they participate in any class, any production,
Mhm.
they have this new sense of confidence, this new sense of self. And so I guess it works for the adults as well too.
It does. Any good director knows the people who audition. And I've just been fortunate to have a lot of the people that I know personally audition for this play. So it was easy for me to plug and play based upon who I knew the characters to be. So,
Alrighty. All right. So let's bring in Mrs. Tar. Miss Vivian Taylor says hello, stars. And Tanya Riley says Lynn. Oh, she tagged somebody. So thank you for tagging people. Share this video and share with everyone. Okay. So Mrs. Tara, tell us about your role, what this means to you, what audition was like, and all of that jazz.
Oh, okay, so I get to play the character of Effie.
Yeah.
Um, I had no idea when I auditioned. All I thought about was I get to sing one night only. That's all I thought. Oh, I get to sing one night only. And then so when I get in there, I'm having to learn how to dance and sing at the same time. And so I was like, oh, what have I done? But it has given me confidence. The cast is absolutely awesome. And so during during the whole process, I've told myself, okay, now I really am shy. He's not shy. So,
ain't neither one of them shy.
so I told myself, I said, you just jump in, just jump in, and don't worry about the mistakes. Mistakes are going to be made. You learn from those mistakes. Um, and so whatever mistake you make, you fix it and just go. There's no need to be shy or scared. And so I just kind of jumped in there. And the role of Effie, just her story resembles mine. You know, being sometimes I'm gonna say this kind of like overlooked, and maybe you feel like you've missed your timeline because I am a 49-year-old woman playing this
You
19-year-old
look good.
twin.
You look good. You look very well.
So, missing your timeline, but then also getting this opportunity, getting her opportunity to be who she was and to have that successful life. And so I feel like the same thing is happening to me. And I know it's kind of different from seeing me sing gospel and Christian music to the secular music. I absolutely enjoy being able to get out of my shell and of my norm. Now, I love the Lord and I would sing, but it brings out, my name is Tara Camille, so it brings out the Camille. Come on, Camille. So I get to bring out the Camille.
Okay.
And so I absolutely, this is like my first, I played in one play, Somebody Called God at Fullness of Joy, way back, a few years ago. So this is really like my first Broadway play. Even though I didn't do theater in high school. I sung in choir late, actually, in high school. But this is my first time actually getting to sing a Broadway musical. And so I'm excited. And the cast is, like I said, they just make you feel welcome and at ease. And so it's more relaxed. We've been bonding,
Yeah.
and so that helps the chemistry. So I'm excited about what's happening. This show has really taught me just the play itself about forgiveness, about going for your goals and love and not giving up So the Dream Girls really have a nice story, or to what we're trying to portray. So I'm excited about
All right. We have some more shout outs. Miss Angela Artis says, good morning, all. Tia Hughes says, yes, Camille.
it. Hey sis.
Hey, babe.
Miss Tonya says, this is so exciting. So happy for you guys. I wish I could be there. So stinking proud of you guys. Thank you so much for sharing. The Lord is still in the blessing business. And
Mhm.
Destiny Michelle says, LOL, we love Camille. Okay.
We love community.
I also, because I did not mention Quabila, Jamie Taylor and Destiny Bradley have been amazing in making sure that all of our dancers and all of our principals and everyone who does any type of dancing, they literally just on Saturday alone they put in a 12-hour shift to make sure, yeah, a whole factory shift just to
Yeah.
make sure that the dancing is perfect. And then Destiny and Jamie are Debbie Allen 2 and 3, and so they put them through another top to bottom run through yesterday. So I promise you, this production is going to be stellar.
Wow. I want to say good morning to Mr. Eric Jackson. He said, what's happening,
Mhm.
y'all? Thank you
It
for
is
checking
also a
in.
cast member in the play.
So we got about 2 minutes left in this segment. So go ahead and tell everybody when the play is happening, where, what time, how to get tickets, and then we'll definitely restate that as we go through the next segment. So,
Okay. The show is November 13th, 14th, and 15th. That's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Show
okay.
times are Friday at 7:30, Saturday at 6, and Sunday is a 2 p.m. matinee. You can get your tickets at foajonesboro.org. You'll click under the purchasing tab and scroll down. Actually, Dreamgirls should be the first thing that pops up once you click that. Or you can call 870-935-2726 anytime between 10 and 6. That's our box office hours, and we can get those tickets for you. Very important to say all 88 and CDC guidelines will be followed, the mask protocols. We're seating 6 feet apart. So all of those things, if those are an issue or concern for you, we have you covered.
All righty. All right. So please, everybody, make plans to go out and support this production. So let's talk about real quick who are the other Dream Girls?
Dina is being played by Miss Naima Askia.
Okay.
Laurel is Miss Kyla Hood. And then we actually have two Michelles. That's Christy Hinton and Ashley Wilson.
Okay. Y'all got Christy the
Yes.
Look, I might have to come out. I don't really dance, but I
Definitely.
might have to
Definitely.
come out.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Right.
Oh my goodness, I am so excited. And so we don't have very much time left in this segment, but we'll continue the conversation on Facebook. But I want y'all to just really, think about like what this means to you or what this means to our community. Let's just start there. I know that again you stated we've had the productions of Raisin in the Sun. There has been Aquila and the Bee, um, but they weren't all black, you know, and they didn't have. Were they directed by a black director?
Yes, Samantha Parker directed both of them.
Okay, and so but we'll talk about though what this particular production means to the community, being that it has a different dynamic, and
Right.
then we'll get into some more discussion with the actors. I do want Tara to please answer, what this means to you. I know you said that it is bringing you out a little bit, but if you have anything more you want to share about how this role or this experience period is has an impact on you. Um, and we're gonna take a quick break, but we'll still be live on air, so stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're off the air, but we're still live on Facebook. So um, let's just talk a little more, Ms. Tara, about what this role means to you, and have you found a way to connect? I know you said that Effie's life story, rather. is similar to yours. Do you care to share just a little more? When I want you to be comfortable with whatever you share.
Yeah. Um, One thing that this role, I've had a few people tell me that me playing this role of Effie has encouraged them to step out of their box. Just seeing me do something in this magnitude, causing them to step out of their own boxes. And so, just the fact of being able to be a trailblazer, not only in ministry, but being a trailblazer in this musical and what it represents for the community as a Black woman and a person, like I said, of age, coming out and doing, and it's not over for you. It's not done. You're able to do what you were called to do, and so that has been, I'm excited about that and honored to be in this position to encourage other Black women to step out of their boxes, and be a part of such a milestone in this community. And so for that, I'm, really thankful. And as far as Effie, um, there are so many things that has transpired in my life, so many trials and so many things I've had to overcome. And thankfully, and thank God that I have been able to do that. And Effie, the same, had to overcome rejection. She had to overcome her self-esteem. So anything that you feel like you have missed, I feel like Effie's character says to us, you can overcome. If you keep pushing, there may be some rough areas. You may have gone through some rejection, depression, or whatever. But if you can overcome if you keep pushing. And so it says my life. And even though I am 49, I believe there's so much more,
Absolutely.
so much more for me that it's not over. And so this play means a lot. I've sat and studied and
Yes.
watched this play over
Believe
and
me,
over.
she has. There's no way in that.
So that I can actually feel her character and feel the atmosphere. And so she does. She said it's not over. It's not too late. You can overcome rejection. You can overcome your low self-esteem, and you can be successful. And so, to me, that's what that means to me.
One thing, can I take it back
We got about
real quick? Tara,
15 seconds.
15 seconds. Oh, never mind. Go ahead. We're good.
Okay. Well, I do want to ask, did you watch some of the older? Well, we're about to go on, so I'll say that. Oops. Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLAK 102.5 FM. I am talking with Mr. Ian Buchanan, who is the director of the upcoming production Dreamgirls, to be shown or put on at the Foundation of, is it Art or Arts?
Arts.
Foundation of Arts here in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And we have two of the cast members, Mr. Marlon Carter and Mrs. Tara Newman Carter. And so we were having an extended discussion on our Facebook Live feed. I want to say good morning to a few more people. Mrs. Christy Mathis Conway's checked in, and Eric says anything else will be uncivilized. You should come out. I know. And Linda Johnson, Linda, huh?
No, we were just commenting. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Miss Linda Johnson Frazier says, hello, Ian. This is exciting. All right. And so we're talking about, what the characters mean to each of the cast members. But I was asking you, Ms. Tara, you mentioned you watched the movie. Did you watch the original version, or did you watch the I guess, more modern version?
I have watched the whole spectrum. I've watched the original Broadway play. I've watched the concert of Dream in 2001. I've watched the movie. So yeah,
Several other people do versions of it.
yeah, different versions.
Now, Ian, I know we've had this conversation too about you prefer everyone to come in with a fresh perspective on the character, like not come in with any kind of
Mhm.
built-in I
Frequency
don't
no.
know, knowledge, I guess you say, of the character. But what do you say to Mr. Hart for taking the time though to do the prep work? Because this is a big role.
Well, I say this, Dreamgirls, we don't have that luxury of coming in fresh faced and unknowledgeable.
Okay.
It's such a well known, almost everybody who auditioned probably could quote the movie backwards and frontwards. I mean, it's such an incredible production with the movies and everything. And so I actually applaud, I encourage it up until a certain point to watch it, study it, get an idea of your character. And then once we started building our own version of Dreamgirls, I actually asked the cast to stop watching different productions so that what we were building and making unique to such a well-known storyline could be center stage in their minds. But I appreciate everything for the last couple of months. Every time I called Tara or Molly, it was dream some form of dream girl something playing in the background. And it didn't matter what time of day it was. I called. Marlon drives back and forth to Memphis all the time, and whenever I would call him, you would hear music playing in the background. So I really appreciate the dedication that this cast has taken. Again, they've asked for extra rehearsals. They've gotten together for extra rehearsals that weren't even on the original rehearsal calendar. And then we even reformatted the last half of the rehearsal calendar to include some extra rehearsals because they are that committed to the show.
All right, so let's talk about the costumes. And we've all every time you all do a production, Miss Sametta has always talked about how you all have to just like pull a rabbit out of the hat and
Yeah,
be creative as possible.
yeah.
So talk about that process.
Ms. Navy Scales, who is another one of our costumers. First of all, before we say that, just a huge shout out to Samantha Parker. I am walking on her shoulders. She was the first African American director at the Foundation of Arts, and I believe that opened doors for me. She also was an incredible costumer at the Foundation of Arts, and we are missing her severely.
Yeah.
I really would have loved to have Samita and Miss Navy knocking these costumes out. We had to pull a lot of stuff from our costume closets. We went to different consignment shops. Jessica's Bridal has been great in allowing us to borrow some of their gowns for this production. And Miss Navy, and then also another costumer named Elizabeth Jeffries has pulled together. I don't think people realize the scope that goes into costuming the show. It actually is what brings everything together. This show has 27 musical numbers, and there are, I believe, right at 23 costume changes. And it's not just one person changing into 27 different, 24 or 25 different dresses. It's 3 and 4 people changing. So we had to get multiples of each costume. So that was a daunting task that I'm actually just going to finish up today.
Okay. So for you,
And a
Ian,
bunch of wigs, a whole bunch, a lot of wigs. Trust me, a whole lot.
It's like a hair store on stage.
A hairstylist.
yeah, because
Junior backstage at the Forum Theater.
Effie had some looks too. So
Yeah.
I mean, they go through these time periods of it's either the afro, the straight hair, wavy, whatever. So now that's going to be amazing to see all these quick changes.
Yeah. And Tara has to be brave because during one of the scenes, she has to take her wig off on stage. So you know how brave that is for a black woman to take her wig off in public. So I appreciate her boldness and tenacity, even though I'm going to probably have to push her to do it a little bit more.
But if I remember correctly, that scene was like really emotional.
Mhm.
And so it's, yeah, when a woman takes her wig off and she just kind of standing there and like, just what, Tar, how do you get into that emotional space? Like, okay, you know,
I should answer that. Okay, so in our private conversations, I was one of the rehearsals and I had to work. I wasn't there. She said, Maya, guess what Ian want me to do? Take off my wig on stage. And I was very careful about my words because I understand the intensity of what she was feeling. And she said, I said, he wants you to take your wig off. I said, well, put the wig on the wig. That's too hot. Ain't nobody doing that. I'm not taking my wig off on stage. I said, well, we'll get through it. I didn't know what to say. I said, we'll get through it.
And she has not rehearsed it yet, so I don't know if it's going to happen. Hopefully, she will honor the director's wish.
I told her to put a wig on under her wig.
well, all I can say is I hope you do because it plays into the moment that the character was in and the
And
whatever
cool.
was
She
happening
can
in
put
that
it back
scene.
on. I mean, she just got to snatch it off for a bit. Because
Oh my goodness.
she's mad at that point. She realizes that the love of her life is sharing that love with someone else, and she's standing, and she has to stand next to this person who is now taking her place. So all of that stuff just comes to a boil, and she's like, you know what? I'm done with it. You can have this wig and this singing group, but she comes back. She gets to get it together. I love it.
Now, um, in the movie, well, I know here I go again referencing the movie, and some of the other older pictures I've seen, they had these long red ball gown. I don't know gowns. It was really sparkly sequins. So, is there some type of really sparkly standout dress number in the
There's,
play?
there's several sparkly.
And a little shimmy too.
A little shimmy. Step into the bad side. You get your red shimmy dresses. The finale dresses are going, as which is the ones that you're referring to, I believe. The finale dresses are going to be spectacular. Because we're all three of us are paparazzi jewelry consultants. The bling and as Mylan and Tara calls it, the net garbage will be in full effect. So you'll get all the glitz and the glamour. J.R. Lawrence, who is our technical director, has come up with a amazing light scheme. So once the lights hit, though, yeah, it's gonna be as sparkly and glamorous and over the top as the movie was. Absolutely.
All right, we have some comments. Miss Jeremy Jones says, "Evangelist, we have to get the full production. It's going to help some." He said, "It's going to help somebody. No, it's okay to take that wig off in the midst of hard times."
I can. It's just like they can take the wig off in the middle of a hard time. I can't stand him.
Oh goodness! And Miss Etoya Thompson Barnes checked in. She says, "Just have a good break."
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So the community has spoken. They want you to snatch the wig off, girl.
Don't let the community down.
Don't let these people who have paid their hard-earned COVID money don't let them down.
I'm crying.
You're going to have to definitely get into full character in that moment and just go, just do it, girl. Oh, goodness. So let's talk about the community, Ian. What do you feel this production means to the community?
I think that through no fault of anyone really, I just think it's just what it was. A large part of our community, with being the African American and minority community, has not been able to come out to a theater or live theater and see something that represents them, or to see themselves on stage. And I think that this year, more than any, the Foundation of Arts has placed things in place to allow that to happen. It starts with Dreamgirls. Dreamgirls is a major milestone because we always do musicals. We do more musicals at the Foundation of Arts than we do straight plays. But and straight plays means just a play without music numbers in it. And we've done, like I said, Raising in the Sun, which me and Marlon actually were a part of. And we've done Aquila and the Bee, which again, me and Marlon were a part of. But to showcase a major musical that was on Broadway, that was made into a movie, that has been revived on Broadway, to showcase something like that and for us to be able to see us on stage, that's huge for the community. Also looking forward to Nutcracker. This year, we have Sanaya Mitchell, who is an African-American girl playing a principal role as Clara in the Nutcracker. So all of the little Black girls who believe that they want to be ballerinas and dancers, they can come out and see her in a lead role on the stage. So I think that things like that help foster a greater sense of I belong in this community, especially during such turbulent times where the country is really, really divided on a lot of different things, and the Black Lives Matter movement is still very prevalent and still very relevant. I applaud the board of directors and Christy for including our stories. And we're actually, we've just announced the rest of our season. We're bringing back Fences. It'll be brought back again, a production. Yeah. And then there's other opportunities like Disney has done Little Mermaid. They're getting ready to redo Little Mermaid. We're doing Little Mermaid. So there's opportunities. The FOA never puts limitations on saying that you can only be in an African American show. If you want to come and audition for a show, come and audition for a show. I played Santa Claus in A Christmas Story. I was Baloo in Jungle Book. I mean, there's no limitation. So I think that this shows our community. Now, I also need to say this to our community. In order for us to continue to do stuff like this, you have to support. Right. You have to buy the tickets. Don't be calling people like, hey, can I get a hookup? Can I get a free ticket? Can you give me a ticket? No, show support for this production. And that's how productions are put on. Right. We don't assess, oh, well, this is a good show for the African American. We don't do. We assess, was it supported? Did it make sense for us to put out the money to buy rights and buy, this and that and the other? And was that a heavily supported thing? Right. So in the minority and African American community, we have 275 tickets for each show. Let's sell all 275 tickets for each show and see what will happen in the future.
Quickly, if I may add, as relates to support, supporting, of course, we want this production to be really big, but supporting, sometimes you have to step out of your box and appeal to something that you may say, well, I've never seen that before. A good example is, I've seen the Nutcracker probably when I was a kid. Tara and I went for the first time the last year, and we loved it. We absolutely loved it. I like theater, period, but sometimes you have to step out of that box or that comfort when it comes to support and say, well, I don't know if I like that. You never know what you might like if you go out and you just decide, hey, I'm going to just go see whatever they're having at FOA this weekend. Stepping out of that box as far as support is, supporting is sometimes doing, like Tara always said and Ian said, doing something that you're not accustomed to doing. And when you get out there, you're like, oh, I like that. Well, let's just see what they're doing next time. So you have to create a new norm, create something that you're not accustomed to doing. But once you get out there, you start doing it, it becomes a part of who you are now. So just want to.
All right. Mr. Jeremy says he has his 7 tickets, so thank you for supporting. And I want to say this. I know we don't live in an area where theater may be the norm. However, we need to start introducing our children to different activities. In the bigger cities where this is a part of their norm, there are after-school programs that cater to the arts. There's more than just sports. And I'm not trying to get on no soapbox. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. but it is what it is. We know what it is and what it's not. And so I love that we have the foundation of arts right here in our own community, to expose our children to different things, whether it's dancing, singing, just straight acting, whatever the case may be. And they see you as leaders in our community. You're stepping up, stepping out, putting yourself out there, and they can look up to you and say, okay, I want to do that too. I can do that. So I applaud you all for stepping up and stepping out
Hey,
and
Colby,
doing this.
one other thing that I want you to know, you mentioned about the after-school programming in larger cities. The Foundation of Arts runs a complete art program. We teach drama, dance, art, in different genres. We have hip hop, we have praise dance, we have tap, we have ballet, we have drawing, we have acting, we have musical theater performance. All of those classes, and then we have opened it up. It's an ongoing registration. You can join at any time. We have tuition assistance if you think that you can't afford it or you need some assistance with tuition. We have monthly payment plans. There's all types of ways. Our mission is to make sure that the arts are accessible to our community, regardless of if they can afford them or not. So don't just think that it's only opportunities for you to come out and audition. No, we have classes from age 3 to 300. We have adult classes, we have advanced classes, we have all different levels. All of that information can be found under the educational portion of foajonesboro.org.
All right. So I'm sorry I can't see my timer. I know we have about maybe 2-3 minutes left in this segment. So again, before we go to break, well, we have a minute and a half. Tell everyone the date and time again.
Okay, November 13th, 14th, and 15th. November 13th is at 7:30 p.m. That's this Friday night. This Saturday is at 6 p.m. And then Sunday is at 2 p.m. Tickets can be purchased by calling 935-2726 or by going to foajonesboro.org and clicking on the purchasing tab.
All right. So when we go to break from on air, do you mind typing that web address into our Facebook Live feed or after
Sure.
the show is over so that people can click on the link and find that? Me trying to multitask is not going to work today. And we have our very own officer, JJ Higgins, checking in. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
And thank you for your service to our community.
Absolutely.
Protect and serve. Always tell us. All right. So for those of you out there listening again, get your tickets. Support this production. Support the community. Show them that you love them. And as you all have mentioned before, just because you may have seen the movie, the play is a whole different experience.
It's a whole different experience.
You just can't put into words. Can't put into words. So we're going to get ready to take a quick break. But those of you that are on our Facebook Live feed, we're going to continue our conversation. So please don't go anywhere. And those of you listening on air, please stay tuned. Again, tell them the date. You got 20 seconds. One more time.
November 13th, 14th, and 15th.
All right. So please go out. Go to the FOA. Is it FOA Jonesboro? Okay.
FOAJonesboro.org.
I just put it there.
Okay. Thank you so much. Follow the link and you'll find all the information for the show times and ticket prices. But we'll be right back after these announcements. Okay, so we're still live on Facebook, and Officer Hagan says he got his tickets. Good morning to Mrs. Clarice Scales. Thank you for checking in. And thank you, Miss Christy Hinton, for putting that information there as well. Thank you, everybody, for checking in. This has been an exciting discussion. I'm excited about the play. And I need you to find something for me to do. I can't sing. Like y'all don't want to hear nothing. So I just need a speak only role.
we have a lot of non-singing roles, even in musicals. And then of course we're going to be doing a couple of straight plays this year. So yeah, we got you.
All right, and then if y'all have any plays, productions, something, cater to individuals with disabilities. I would
Okay.
love to hear about that.
And then now, Fabila, we keep talking about this. You're supposed to come in on and help us with a little bit of these costuming things too. You keep, every time the FOA come through, you say, I can sew a little bit, I can do a little bit. That's all right. My next production, I'm just gonna have you make 3 dresses. There you go.
You know me, I'm that friend that's gonna push you. I'll call you. We got this coming up. What you got going on? We'll
So
create.
look,
I got you. I got you.
my only excuse this time around is I'm in grad school, so just let me get through school through December, and I'll be yours.
Okay. You said in December, so come January, whatever I need to do. All right, duly noted. And when
As
we come
long
back
as it's
in
with a
here,
certain time frame that I can get out, because y'all know I don't drive, but as
that's
long as
fine.
it's in a
We'll
certain
get-
time frame,
Yeah. We'll slide
I,
right.
I'm looking forward to giving back to the community more and
Mhm.
getting my hands more involved in the foundation. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I was hoping to do some volunteer work early in the year or last year, but life and transition things were happening, so
Yeah.
it just didn't work out at the time. I'm excited about this place. So, you'll have family coming in from out of town anywhere, coming to watch the play.
I have my mother and my entire family is coming up from Little Rock, and then I have friends and family coming in from all over. Of course, the great Tia Hughes will be here. The great.
Her name's just Tia. Just Tia.
Is her name just
Out of those titles. She's Mrs. Carter.
Excuse.
Tia don't get me for that.
She is, and I hope she's putting a comment on right now. But yes, I do. We do have people. The cast as a whole has a lot of people coming in. A lot of people want to come in to support this because here's the truth of the matter: unless you go to Memphis, and that's kind of few and far between, even with the great theater program there in Memphis, you don't get to see a lot of African American musicals and stories being told on stage. So this is a great opportunity for people.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're going to continue our conversation. Sorry to cut you off, Mr. Ian, but we were having a great conversation off air. So for those of you who would like to hear more, you can go back and watch our Facebook live feed. And Ms. Vivian Taylor says, everyone have a great day and break a leg. And Ms. Tia Hughes says, but I'm going to get you in person. Amen.
I love you, sister.
Nah, don't try to call her down.
Oh, goodness.
My friend.
She gonna get you for calling her out. Okay.
Yes, I am.
So, Miss Tara and Mylan, I don't know if y'all have any children still at home. Do y'all have any children still at home?
They're still at
No.
home.
Yeah.
None at home. But how? What are their thoughts and feelings about you all being in this production? Even the grown one. They're older.
Well, the girls have participated in all kinds of theater in school, and I've always supported them. They played in Cinderella, Sister Act, different things.
My Fair Lady.
Yeah, my friend. So to see me doing it, first of all, they laughed at me. They was cracking up because I'm trying to dance and sing. And so, I said, I'm gonna have to take some yoga or something, kind of loosen up. And so, but they are really excited. They are really excited and encouraging me, in between laughs, of me trying to dance. But they really are. They are really supportive, and they're excited about
one of our daughters is actually in the production. She plays one of the stepsisters, and she's also a part of the ensemble. The whole family sings, like everybody sings, from unfortunately me all the way to our baby girl. Everybody sings. So it's nothing for us to walk. It's nothing for us to walk around the house and we'll remix the Star Spangled Banner or just create a song, or yeah. So we all do music.
That's wonderful. Wow. And so, Ian, even though you're directing, I didn't hear you say whether you had a role in
No,
this.
ma'am. No, ma'am. Not at all. No, I won't be back on stage until the Nut. I'm going to reprise my role as Drosselmeyer in the Nutcracker again this year. I've done a couple of directing and behind the scenes with Descendants and The Outsiders, and of course now this. So I won't be back on stage again until the Nutcracker. So new.
Okay. Alrighty. Wow. So I can't thank you all enough for joining me and sharing this information. And I really, really hope the community comes out in full. As well, this y'all, we know we're in a situation, but still come out as many as possible and support this production. I mean, don't come in with the mindset it's going to be like the movie. This is a whole different experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You made me think about something I was going to say earlier. I remember Ian mentioned it a little bit, but one of the first things he told us, is when he told us, watch the movies, get familiar with it. But he said, I don't want you to be the character that you saw on TV. To the character you saw on TV, be your version of that character, be yourself. And so that was really, although it was small for me, that was it'd be you.
Because I didn't want them to have the pressure of trying to be Jamie Foxx and Jennifer Hudson and Beyonce. I wanted them to be Tara and Mylan and Kyla and Naima and Cameron, whoever their role was. I wanted them to be that person doing that role.
Yeah.
Because that's why they were cast.
All right. So as we get ready to wrap up our conversation here, from Mylan and Tara, tell us what will you take away and add to your personal life, like take away from the characters.
Come on, host. That's a good question.
You want me to go first? One of the biggest things that stuck out with Tara and I, like she said, we actually had a conversation. There's actually a scene with Effie and Cece after not speaking for a while, for several years actually, to come back together. And that scene's all about forgiveness. And of course, I'm the forgiveness guy. So that stuck out so big to us. And then it's about, and one of the things that happens in some of the dialogue that takes place, he causes her to remember, I still need you. You're my sister. And her comment to him is that you've always been the one. And then in that moment, they actually recognize their change together, that being apart has made them see concerning themselves. So it's like a big, to me, I'm a sucker for metamorphosis. So metamorphosis is one of those things that I look forward to seeing people who say, I'm going to do this, take the steps to do that, and then they reach those goals. So that, to me, the whole production, if I can use one word, it's about metamorphosis. It's about changing, allowing life's journeys, life's trials, tribulations, whatever takes place, to let you see the best you that you didn't even know what you were when you were going through. Because sometimes, I'm a little preachy, but sometimes you don't really know. You really don't know where you are until you go through some stuff, and then you finally discover who you need to be.
Okay. All right, Miss Tara, we got about a minute.
He said it all. But again, and just to piggyback on what he said, learning about how to forgive. When I look at the storyline and the pain that Effie went through, and the other dream girls as well, going through false love and thinking you found love and rejection and just different things. Learning how to forgive the person and then learn how to forgive yourself, moving on and growing to your potential. And so I really took away from the characters, myself, of learning how to move past what I thought was going to hinder me or what I thought was going to stop me, moving past insecurities, moving past and learning literally the scene that he was talking about between he and the siblings, so major, because Cece walked away from her, pushed her away, didn't really ask enough questions. and why she was feeling like she was feeling, and then to come back to full force of working together and loving each other, that was really major. And so this production really teaches you what forgiveness really looks like, and going for your goals nonstop. And so that's what I took out, going for my goals.
Also, the benefit of waiting. I just thought about that. Yeah, teach you sometimes waiting seems elongated, and waiting on that big moment, waiting on working hard at something that seems like you won't ever touch, and finally you never know what really might happen, and before you know it, you're in that moment. Yeah, so that's all.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap up. I can't thank you all enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's going to wrap it up for today. Again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Foundation of Arts, Dream Girls. Go to foajonesboro.org, get your ticket information, get the time information. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Tara. Thank
Yeah.
you all for joining us. And we're going to have to go because we have another segment starting like
About
right.
about 5 minutes. Thank you all. Great show.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right. So I hope y'all have a great day.
You too.